So you have not worked on any of the HR related or anything. So that is okay, no problem. There is no prerequisite for this. So first thing is everyone would be having an idea, or when we get a, someone might inform you, yeah, go to Workday, and that is very important. Yeah, of course, I agree with that. I mean, that is booming in the market. So every company is going to Workday. Okay. So later you will get a question. The basic question would be whether I can go ahead and do that. I have a career gap. I have a different experience. My education is different. So these are all the basic questions which you will get it. So the first thing which I can say it, there is no prerequisite for this. Okay, so it's not that you need to know this, then only you can do this. It's not like that. Okay, so you can go ahead and learn Workday. The only thing is you need to spend time and practice on that. That's how you will get this. So what I can suggest you is, yes, anyone can do it. Any stream of education, any stream of work domain which you are in, yes, you can switch to Workday. So the best example would be me, where when I started my Workday career, I didn't have a background of HR or anything. Okay, and I didn't have a background of any education purpose also. I mean, the same similar education. So I'm not related to this, but yes, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm working with one of the best client right now. So yeah, that's what I can say, that with the best example. All right. Yeah, first we need to eradicate whatever the questions you have in your mind, in a basic questions. Then we'll go with this. So there is something called HCM. Okay, we are going to go with the HCM. Okay. HCM is a human capital management. Okay. So what will happen in the human capital management? What we are going to learn. So there is something called, from the first of all, we should understand the HCM, then how it relates to Workday. Then we can understand that. Okay. In outside, I'm talking about in the market, there are like different ERP systems are available. Okay. ERP is enterprise, resource management. Before ERP, the people were like very, it was a very simple manner, which I can say that it was difficult to manage the systems. Okay. For example, sales department needs to talk to, or talk means, I mean, here what I'm trying to convey is, sales department needs to send the data to payroll department. So our payroll department needs to send the data to inventory department. I mean to say, information. Okay. So they need to have a communication, right? Inside everyone, like inside the organization, they need to have a communication. Then only it can whatever the organization would function in a very proper way, right? So that is what the ERP tools come into the picture, where enterprise resource management or enterprise resource planning, which we call it. So that comes to the picture in the market. Then everyone is using this. Oh, okay. So this is there, like Oracle HCM, where it comes to SAP Success Factor, Microsoft Dynamics 365. All these are available. But why companies are preferring cloud is because cloud is 100%, which is in the cloud native only. So these earlier, we discussed about Oracle and all this, right? So these things also in the market, they are into the cloud, but they're partially into the cloud. Okay. So first of all, what is a HCM point of view? Human capital management, where we are working on employees life cycle. So what is the life cycle? From recruitment to retirement, from recruitment to exit of the company. We normally switch companies, right? So that is what it is talking about. And in this life journey, employee life cycle, so what are all the phases we have? Okay, first thing, till here, maybe you guys would be knowing that till here, uh, we will be talking to, or we will be, uh, there is job portals available, right? So how we do that? I mean, how we get a job? So first thing is we'll be looking at in the job portal. Okay, we'll see the job description. Yeah, that relates to our profile. Yes, we will send that resume to them, and if we are shortlisted, they'll be calling us for the interview. And again, we are shortlisted in the interview also. Yes, we'll get an offer letter and we'll get inside the company, right? This is the process which we know, which we everyone knows it. I mean, this is a very common process, right? But when it comes to this HCM, when we are trying to learn or when we go through with this, so here we need to understand one thing, that is how we are going to do that. How? Okay, we are applying the one of the interview and we are going into that, so that is a different thing. What is happening in the organization point of view? So there is a team, one of the team, they require people, human resource. So they are looking for human resource. Okay, headcount is less, so they are unable to share the work. So that is the reason that manager, so and so, whatever the team, for example, there is a sales team. So sales team manager will be contacting to HR department. Boss, I want this many people, like 5 people, 6 people, depends on that requirement, right? So then what HR will be doing, that taking all the information from the hiring manager, and they are publishing in the internal and external sites, portals, job portals. So internal means the internal job portal where the internal employees, anyone who is interested to get into that role, yes, they can come. They show the interest. If it is external, yes, they'll go with the external, where we can see that in the Naukri or other job portals. So here, once we go ahead and apply that, so what will happen now? Back end, I'm talking about organization point of view. So they'll be shortlisting the people who all are related to our profile, the CV. We send the resume, right? So they'll shortlist that and they'll conduct an interview. If there are 10 people, 20 people, you know, comes to that interview. And again, they will be shortlisting from that interview perspective, and they will do the send the offer letters to those people who are selected, the final candidates. Okay, this is what happening in the backend. So what exactly we are trying to learn here is that complete life cycle, not only this. Okay, this is only for the interview purpose and hiring, till hiring. We just discussed till hiring. Okay, so I will tell you in a simple examples, okay, so that you guys can relate to that and understand that. So after hiring an employee, so what will happen? Definitely we need to go to office every day. So that means when we go to office, the organization needs to understand that you are working. So that means you need to enter your time tracking. Like if it is 8 hours, 9 hours, you need to enter that. The similar way, organization point of view, they need to monitor that 8 hours, 9 hours, they need to approve it. That is one of the module which is available, time tracking. Okay. And another one is they need to pay us, right? Payroll and compensation also comes to the picture. So I'll let you know a little later what is the difference between a compensation and payroll and everything. But just try to understand this. These are all the regular terminology which you can understand, that payroll and compensation. So we need to, we means as an organization point of view. Okay, in this whole sessions, which I can say that I will let you know, guys, don't worry. But most of the times, try to understand that from the organization point of view, so that it will be very easy to understand what is happening. Okay, so when it comes to organization point of view, what they will do, they need to pay us, otherwise who will be working? I mean, we are not here for charity, right? So yes, the compensation, and then later which goes with the like whenever you're working on it. So it's not that they'll pay you and you're working. It's just not like a robotic form, right? So every year there is a year-end performance review. So they need to provide you the rating. According to the rating, your job high, I mean salary hikes and all, and according to that, your promotions will be coming, right? So that's how normally the life cycle. If you're working for 1 or 2 years or 3 years of the company, you will come out, or maybe you, if you get a better opportunity, you will go to that, maybe salary hike or career hike or position, whatever, right? So this is the this is the life cycle, right? So in each and every phase, what are all the options which we have? So that those all things which we will be discussing, that is Workday. I mean, that provides, that everything provides Workday. I'm sorry. Yeah. See, as I've told you here, this is Workday is a cloud native, right? So I don't know, like few people are not a background of IT, or just I'm trying to give you from the scratch just to understand that. And before going to this slide, I'll give you few things about myself also. So normally, how my teaching is, the style of teaching is, I believe on logic. Whatever you go ahead and just try to provide it to you, and whatever I try to explain to you. So first thing you should understand in a way of logic, and I will provide you that. And what do we call layman examples, so that everyone can relate to that. Okay, that's what I believe. These two things which I can provide you guys, I can assure you that. And yeah, here comes the so this slide, what exactly we're talking about is physical servers, and there is something called cloud. So I said, Workday is cloud native, completely into cloud, right? So what is the difference between this? So in any organization, normally we have physical servers and we have cloud servers. Nowadays, everyone will be moving from physical to cloud because the maintenance would be high in the physical servers if they maintain. So that is a simple example which I can give you. Everyone is having their computer, like laptop, right? So if you have any issues with the laptop, if it is a hardware issue or software issue or any issue, you need to take care because it's your laptop. That is the similar way of physical servers. The company is holding it. And for example, if it is a Gmail, the best example would be Gmail, where you can go ahead and you can use the Gmail from any computer, right? You just need to have an internet connection, right? You can access your Gmail from anywhere. It's not only work in your computer only, right? There is no mandatory. That is how it is. And if it is Gmail is down, or there is a space in the Gmail, right? Like 15 GB they provide free space. So you don't care about that, where that storage is available. I mean, we don't need to know that, first of all. Okay, it's in the cloud, right? So that's how it works. I mean, that is the difference between this. If companies are using physical servers, so that is a in-house or on-prem servers, we call it. If companies are going to maintain this, they are giving it to some other provider, cloud provider, like Amazon Web Services, AWS. So if they are giving it to someone, yeah, that is very easy, right? The same way, the example which I have provided to you. So when it comes to, as I've told you, we have come to know that what is I mean HCM, and how it relates to Workday. So Workday is also, like, there is something called a software as service. Okay, so what is software as service? Why companies are going into Workday? Because it's easy to use and it's easy to navigate. Okay, and one umbrella which will be having all the benefits. I mean, one stop solution for the companies. For us, like, we need to learn it. So I can say that, trust me, guys, it's very easy. It's not that I know, that is the reason I'm saying that. It's very easy. What I'm trying to say is, you until I mean, The only condition is you need to practice a lot. Once you practice, it's very easy. And how easy it is when you are using your, everyone must be using your social media accounts, right? That easy it is. Okay. But practice from the day one, which I'm, saying that to you, practice is very important. But anyway, I'll let you know how to practice and all. Yeah, that's what our main motto is. Sorry. So that is the main reason the Workday is, it's easy to organize staff. It's easy to organize the people. So that is the reason we are using Workday, or I can say organizations and as well as employees also showing interest to use the Workday. So as I've told you here, one thing you might not understand this. Like if you're anyone who worked on this, maybe you can understand that. Like software as service, there is something called three different types of services available in cloud only. Okay, so I'm not going into any technical point of view because it's very first day. Okay, so here just I will give you examples. So one is platform as service, infrastructure as service, and third one is software as service. That is what we are talking about. So I will give you a simple example. So here, if you want to bake a cake, okay, that is your bake a cake means like whatever you're going to, you know, uh, go with the applications in software company. So what you will do, you need to go to the kitchen and you need to have all the ingredients and you need to prepare that, right? So here in this, the kitchen will be provided by platform. Someone will provide you like Azure App Services, we call it example of it, like Google App Engine. Okay, so anyone can provide you kitchen ingredients, everything is available. You just enter into the kitchen and do whatever you want. Okay, so that type of model it is platform as service. And when it comes to infrastructure as service, so the same example which I can take it, you can go to the kitchen, but it's not provided. I mean, it's not your kitchen. Okay, someone has provided all the ingredients, all the kitchen items, everything is provided by someone, right? So you can go to that. Later point, you thought that yes, I want command on this one of the like refrigerator. I want to, whatever the inside refrigerator inside items are there, I need to arrange it in my own priority because I am using this kitchen, right? So I need to use it, or I need to make it, arrange it. So you thought that. So you will be taking it. That is what the IaaS, that is infrastructure as service, which will be creating a virtual machines, storage, networking. The example would be AWS. If you guys must be aware of it, Amazon Web Services. This is also pay as you go model. We are not bothered about. This is also pay as you go model. We are not bothered about all this, like infrastructure and everything. Just they will provide you the servers in cloud. We can work on it. That's it. Now, this is more advanced than these two. Okay, this is software as service. That is what we are talking about. So the same example which I can take it, we are not entering into the kitchen. I'm just ordering the cake. So I don't know where the kitchen is. I don't know what exactly it is. I don't need a refrigerator. I don't need anything. I'll just order the, you know, um, uh, the cake. That's it. So that's what it is we are using. I mean, which we talk about Workday. Workday will be using the same, option, which is software as service. So the best example, another best example which I can give you is your Gmail. So just you need a subscription of your Gmail, right? You need to have a username and password. That's it, right? So you need to have a username and password, and whatever the system you're trying to connect, that should be having the internet access. That's it. You can able to access it, right? Making sense, guys? Any questions if you have? Any questions? I can proceed further.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So in Workday, yeah, we understood that, yeah, this is Workday. Workday is, user friendly, and organizations got benefited because of the Workday. And we also having like, it's very easy to use, and navigation is easy. So everything we understood. In Workday, we got many modules. They created, the terminology would be modules. They made it like a modules. Okay, so I'm sorry. So they made it like a module. So do, as I've told you, that recruitment, core HCM, compensation, we need to give a compensation, and we need the compensation will be handled and will be provided your pay, that is payroll, and you should be getting the benefits in that earlier scenario which I told you, that employee life cycle. There is like, you need to provide the benefits. If it is in India, you will be having the benefit of medical benefit, right? Health cards and all. And if it is in US, 401k benefits, and you will be checking the performance, how you're performing and all. So this application, the Workday application, will be providing all these things in one roof. Okay, time tracking, as I've told you, time off. So everything, these are all the modules available. But in this, what do we call, in these sessions, okay, whatever the training sessions, which will go further, maybe approximately like, uh, 35 to 40 sessions we'll be conducting. So in this training sessions, 35 to 40 hours, okay, we are focusing on base thing, which is I'm sorry, core HCM. In core HCM, what are all the topics we'll be covering? So I'll be show that I'll be showing that to you guys. But these are all the modules which are available in Workday, just to understand the Workday point of view. We are not covering all these modules. So normally this is how it is, because if you want to know that time tracking, you should understand the core HCM. Then only you can understand this time tracking. The same way applicable to each and everything. Performance, if you want to know performance, yes, you need to understand this core HCM. And we have Workday finance. Okay, everything is available, but we are not bothering into that, bothered that whatever we have in the Workday. But main thing is the foundation is core HCM. Okay, so we are focusing on core HCM. Okay, here, regarding to the core HCM, we got all this. I will show you that chapters also, like what are all the topics which we are covering it. I have a different, what do we call, the the segment is available. I mean, in that segment point of view. So here in core HCM, these are all the functional topics. Okay. Of course, as I've told you that techno-functional, I'll be going into more topic wise. Okay. Here, the first thing is supervisory organization. Okay. And how to create a supervisory organization, which is like just a, we have 10,000 employees. Okay. Any company, if you take Netflix is a, Netflix, everyone knows it, I guess. So Netflix is a company where they got 10,000 employees. Of course, by the way, Netflix is also using Workday. So in that 10,000 employees, in order to manage them, like what we are doing in Workday Core HCM, we are trying to manage them, manage the employees. Manage means whatever we are facilitating. We means from Workday point of view. So we need to segregate them. So we cannot say that like, yeah, 10,000 employees will get the same salary. It's not going to happen, right? So according to their roles, responsibilities, their working hours, then like if they're part-timer, full-timer, many people are there in that 10,000, right? So in that scenario, we need to segregate them in a supervisory organization, grouping all the people. So this is a key thing, guys. Supervisory organization is key thing. So we are grouping all the employees. After grouping it, we need to manage them with a staffing model, and we need to make them into profiles. Create job profile, make them into one basket. Sales team, one is HR team. HR team will be having 10 members inside or 20 members inside. That's okay. But that is actually HR team. Okay. And when it comes to, we need to give them compensation, right? Yes, we will be doing that. In these sessions only, we are doing all this. Okay. And we will go and do the security. Yeah. We'll do the security. I mean, what exactly the security is? Security means not exactly someone is hacking your system. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about security like, for example, we can able to see our compensation, right? But as an employee, we can able to see that compensation. Okay, what exactly it is? It's 10 lakhs per annum, 20 lakhs per annum, whatever it is. But can we go ahead and change it? Do we have an access to change our compensation? No, right? If that is the case, everyone would be coding high compensations. So yeah, that's not. So that is what the security which we're talking about. Okay, and how it comes with the business process, like in this, organization which they are using it Workday, how the business process works. So business process is a simple example which I can give you. If you go to any of the company, few companies will be taking 2 rounds of interview, few companies will be taking 3 rounds of interview, right? And if you come out of the company also, exit from the company also, you need to serve 1 month notice period, 2 months notice period, 3 months notice period. Why is like that? What is the difference? So that is a business process which we will going to learn. Like every company got their own business process, policies and rules. I mean, they want to run the business like this. So that way which we are using this business process. Okay. Yeah. And there is something which we need to understand, this tenant concept. So here you might heard about this. This is not an open source, guys. Right? Open source means AWS, Amazon Web Services. You can get it anywhere. Anywhere means you can log into Amazon Web Services. You will have a server access. Okay, but here in Workday, it's not like a server access which will be having it. Okay, so there is something called a tenant access. So I will give you a simple example is, when you go to uh, any new place, you will be looking for apartment, flat for rent, right? So when you're taking rent, you will become a tenant to that owners of that flat, right? The same way, Workday is not going to sell anything. They'll provide tenant process. Okay, they'll be giving that whatever they have resources, they'll be giving that in the tenant base or rental base. So that's how the tenant which we are going to use it. And when it comes to training purpose, these are all the different tenants which we are using it when it comes to, in the work point. Okay, so there is something called implementation tenant types also, which we have GMS tenant. Okay, global model service tenant. And this is like universities which they are using it. Okay, financial agencies and universities which they are using it. And alma mater university tenant, this is, I mean, you don't need to know everything, so I'm just giving you a tenant point of view, just a brief about it, what exactly the tenant which you are using it. So you should understand that global modern service tenant, which is GMS tenant, which will be using that is the implementation tenant mainly. When you go to work, you will be having a production tenants. These are all production tenant. One is a production tenant, of course. Production tenant should be there, right? In order to do all the transactions, we need to have a production tenant. And when it comes to sandbox tenant and sandbox preview tenant, so sandbox is just a test tenant. Okay, before getting into anything in the production, we need to do something, right? So that is the sandbox tenant, the test tenant. So we have sandbox, right? Why we have sandbox preview tenant? In Workday, every 6 months we'll be getting the new features. Last week also we got the R2, we call it R1, R2, release 1 and release 2 features. Okay, so those features, I don't want to I means as an organization, I don't want to disturb this sandbox tenant. I want to put those features in the whatever the features which you get it in sandbox preview tenant. Then if our company require this features only, then I can use this. Otherwise, I don't want these features at all. It's like a test features. Okay, what are the features which will be provided by a Workday? Till now, I can say that Workday has provided more than 250 features. Okay. Yeah. I mean, here I'll just show you that it's one second, guys. I'll just show you the topics which we are covering it. Any questions meanwhile? You guys got any questions?
No, till now it was clear.
Yeah, yeah. Second. Let me share my screen. Yeah. These are all the topics which we are covering in the techno-functional course. Okay. In this, or as I've told you that it will be like 35 to 40 sessions. So in this, we will be going with the core concepts. I mean, what is the basics and like navigation? Navigation is tenant setup and how we use the tenant and all. So that is what it is. And as I've told you that organization, I have shown you that picture, right? Organizations, supervisory organization and everything, right? So in that picture, that is what those are all the key points in that picture. Okay. So here organizations in Workday, how we use that and everything. Here it will be covered the supervisory organizations also. That is very, very important. And as I've told you that when supervisory organization, we are grouping the employees and we need to manage them like job management and position management. That is what the staffing model which we'll be looking into it. And when it comes to how to create a job profiles, jobs and positions, so you know that like in a college campus, companies are coming and they'll be hiring people like bulk. Okay, the bulk requirement is there. They're taking 40 people, 30 people, 50 people, right? Sometimes it depends on their requirement. So yes, there is a how we are doing that. What is the difference between jobs and positions? If there is a techno-functional position is there, okay, techno-functional position, so there is a requirement for that. You need to have experienced, you need to have that, you need to have this, so everything job description which we can see that, right? So how we can look into that. I mean, we can go through all this in our sessions, and how we hire the workers. Okay, in that supervisory organization only, how we are hiring it. So if you see that each and every chapter is interrelated. If we understand supervisory organization, then only we can understand the jobs and positions, when it comes to how to manage it. And when we know how to manage it, and then only we can understand how to hire employees in that supervisory organization. We need to add people, right? Add members. Okay. And if we know everything, then we can understand that, like, what is the compensation? How do we create the compensation plans and everything? We create grades, plans, events, and everything, the compensation point of view. And as I've told you, business process, step by step process, where every company got their own process to go ahead, work on that business process. So we'll be knowing that what is the configuration. We'll go with the step by step configuration in that business process. And we'll be going with the additional staffing where it's not only employees, direct employees, we will be having a contingent workers, right? So how do we work with them? Contingent workers. How do how to do the position swap, switch primary job? How do we do the termination of an employee? So how do we do that? Everything will be knowing that in the additional staffing point of view. And there is something called self-service, where Workday there is where employee can do their self, if they want to go ahead and do any options, like how they are doing it, how they are using the tool. There is something called a self-service. Okay, we'll look into that. And there is something called a Workday mobile, where mobile notifications normally everything comes to the mobile, right? If you're not available, and in office hours, or like outside, or if you're stuck with a meeting or anything, maybe if you don't have a laptop in handy, being a manager I'm talking about, so you need to manage few things. Yes, you can go ahead and very well use the Workday mobile. Okay. And yeah, here comes uh, the security. From here you can see here, till here it's all the functional point of view. Okay. These are all very small chapters, Workday mobile and Workday self-service and all this. These are all very small chapters just to understand that how it is, how it works. Okay. And when it comes to security point of view, so what exactly we're going to use the security. So these are all the technical part. As I've told you, not a hacking security. We are not going to save that application. This is like a user-based security, role-based security. What is the difference between that, and how we are going to configure the security point of view. Okay. And when it comes to reports, see, we are actually loading all the data here. Right here, we are creating supervisory organization. We are going to add compensation in it, and we are creating or adding the things in the business process. Everything we are doing it. But if I want to get an employee, for example, the same example which we can take in Netflix, there are 10,000 employees. If I want their address, being a HR, or there is some requirement in it, so I need all of them address. So if I need to pull that manually, it takes a lot of time and human errors also. So that is the reason we have a beautiful concept which is reporting. Okay. In Workday we have a reporting. So in order to go ahead and use the reporting purpose, where we need to use the calculated fields. So how to use that calculated fields and using the reporting reports. And we use the calculated fields in most of the places, but I will let you know that where we are using the calculated fields. So that is very, very important. And the last one is integrations. So when it comes to integrations means, as I've told you that Workday point of view, where we are using the all modules which I have shown you in one of the slide. I was showing all the modules, right? Different modules. So if someone is I'm sorry, if someone is using different module, like uh, for example in the Netflix only, if they are using only core HCM, they are using from Workday. Time tracking they are using from, there is another company called Kronos. Just I'm giving an example. Okay. They are not using, just I'm giving an example point of view. So for that we need to get the data from Kronos, and we need to load the data, right? So there is something called inbound and outbound. Get the data and send the data from Workday. So that is what we'll be looking into, that inbound and outbound. EIB is enterprise interface builder. So in integrations, these all called comes under integrations. So we'll be looking at like EIBs is one of the way, and core connectors is another way to do the integrations. So there is something called advanced integrations where we'll be doing that. I mean, just if you guys are very much interested in that, maybe I can give you an overview of it, like studio integrations. So yeah, it's not actually part of it, but yeah, if there is anything, yes, we can provide it. Okay, this, as I've told you, that this will be like 40 hours. I mean, between 35 to 40 hours, depends on that